2 months since my last upload. Jeez, I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna start reading a story for you, a new one this time, called Fallen Equestria, War Never Changes. And forgive me, but I couldn't find a proper piece of art for the cover. So I have taken the picture of the main character's art, and I have simply put the name in writing over it, because I'm lazy like that. Anyway, without further ado, I'm back. Let's get kicking. Once upon a time, in the magical land of Equestria, there came an era when the ideals of friendship gave way to greed, selfishness, paranoia, and a jealous reaping of dwindling space and natural resources. Lands took up arms against their neighbors. The end of the world occurred much as we had predicted. The world was plunged into an abyss of balefire and dark magic. The details are trivial and pointless, the reasons, as always, purely our own. The world was nearly wiped clean of life. A great cleansing. A magical spark struck by pony hooves quickly raged out of control. Megaspells rained from the skies. Entire lands were swallowed in flames and fell beneath the boiling oceans. Ponykind was almost extinguished, their spirits becoming part of the ambient radiation that blanketed the lands. A quiet darkness fell across the world. Last thing I remember, I was lying in my bed. I could have no more than 1 or 2. No, that's not right. Those are the lyrics to a Pawn Simon song, and that was the first thing he remembers, not the last. What was the last thing I remember? I was in the warehouse, checking the stasis pods. Fluttershy was desperately waiting for my report. We'd finally cracked full cryogenic suspension techniques, and she wanted to implement them as soon as possible in the hospitals and replace some of the older generation models that were using at her medical centers. They were screams. Balefire bombs were exploding around the city. I blinked my eyes to clear the white haze, and through the haze faded, the white did not. As my eyes focused, I realized I was looking into the soft white light of a resurrection scanner in the top cryopod, and I was laying on the soft black cushioned mat of the cryopod, and could see the semi-transparent blue lid of a cryopod above my head. All this coupled with a familiar robotic voice announcing Stage 3 cryo thaw completed, led me to unfortunately inescapable conclusion that I was in a cryopod. And yes, before you can say it, duh, where else would I be? Alright, don't panic. Glancing at myself quickly, I assessed my situation as best I could. I was no longer wearing my utility barding, nor my lab coat, and some pony had removed my pit buck. If I was lucky, they would be in the storage compartment of the pod. Personal assessment, my head throbbed from my horn to the back of my skull. My dark blue coat was kind of messy, but that was nothing new. Yellow mane still smelled like machine grease, so whatever had happened to me, I had to have gone right into the pod only moments later. I pressed a little against the pillow. Since I couldn't move my legs to check, Stallion hood still fully intact. Turning a little on my side, I could see my cutie mark on the reflection of the lid. A DNA double helix with a crossed wrench and pistol branded underneath. However, that was left the question of how I had gotten into the damn pod, let alone undressed before I had... We knew short-term memory loss could be a side effect, but this was ridiculous. Alright, Kane, focus, I muttered, pressing a hoof to my forehead. Came into the warehouse, it was late, Fluttershy had just called every pony else had already left, damn it. My head started to throb, and I had to stop trying to think so damn hard. The lid hissed open, and I was greeted by 2 unexpected sights. The familiar roof of the warehouse, now in shambles above me, and the business end of a double-barreled shotgun, floating in my face, wrapped in a field of orange magic. A fiery orange unicorn with a bright red mane stood about 20 feet away, the control console dressed in what looked like some kind of patchwork barding. Now you just climb down nice and slow, and nobody needs to get hurt, he says, cocking the gun for emphasis. Oh boy.